Hey everyone, it's Sean and Everett Reddy of the Keller Williams Reddy Group. And as you can see, I'm dressed down and Mr. Everett here is dressed way up in his suspenders and his tie. So he came to play today, folks. So we're here to talk about the Tampa Bay real estate market, how it's behaving through COVID. We are in our just finished our 21st week of collecting stats every single day, front-end metrics on the real estate market so we can best predict what's going to happen in the medium to long term. So normally, if you've watched these videos before, we just rattle off the numbers and compare that to the previous week and the previous several weeks to see what trends we're seeing. However, I want to take a little bit of time and talk about, not only the market right now, yet what's to come in the future. Basically, the market that's not being talked about yet. So if you've been paying attention, you know that the real estate market is flying high, right? Record low inventory, record low mortgage rates, and strong demand have fueled this extreme seller's market that we're in. And if you've paid attention historically, you know that markets are cyclical. Excuse me, that's easy for you to say. Cyclical. And we can just look back into the early 2000s when the market was flying high right up to about 2006 and then fell off of a cliff. Now, I don't think the market's going to fall off of a cliff per se like it did in 2006 and 7, yet we are in for a little bit of a reckoning as far as how the market dynamics will change. And a couple things factor in here. Number one, as I mentioned, we have had very limited supply, not only because of COVID, yet because of this lost decade of underbuilding that happened from 2007 to 2017. Home starts were at an all-time low because builders didn't want to build for, how low prices were at the time. Makes sense. So the overall U.S. housing market has been undersupplied for a long time. Number two, the inventory will start to loosen up. In fact, this week, for the first time in 6 weeks, we saw the number of listings go up and the number of contracts go down. So that's going to give us a lower net number of homes that are taken off the market. So if that trend continues, listings go up and contracts go down, we're going to see this flip-flop in supply and demand, causing the market dynamic to shift from extreme sellers to balance to ultimately buyer's market. So we're kind of ticking towards that right now. Number three, we got to talk about this forbearance thing. 8% of mortgages are still in forbearance. That's 4.1 million loans nationally. And more than half of those, 2.2 million forbearance agreements are set to expire next month. So what happens then when 2.2 million borrowers who haven't been paying since March all of a sudden have a bill come due of 7 months worth of mortgage payments? Well, most people aren't going to be able to pay that, and they have equity in their homes largely. So we're going to see some inventory hitting the market because, they can't pay that 7-month lump sum, that balloon payment. So that's going to impact the housing inventory as well. So demand's not automatically going to go up just because the inventory went up. So we're going to see, again, those two lines on a graph crisscrossing where new listings outpace new contracts. It will happen. It may not happen next week. It may not happen next month, yet it is soon. So there are a lot of people taking advantage of this current real estate market in different ways. Number one, you have the obvious move up. You have selling your home right now. And by the way, the lower the price point, the stronger the demand is, and the more extreme that seller's market is. So selling your lower priced home, moving into a higher priced home, this does two things. Number one, it enables you to sell in a stronger market than you're buying into. So you can usually get the best sale and still maybe get a deal on the higher end home. And by the way, because of interest rates, you might have a very similar looking payment, just carrying that equity into a bigger home and paying virtually the same amount that you were on your last home if you're paying more than 4%. Number two, there are some, you can call it speculative. I might call it savvy when I think back to 2006. People who are selling homes right now and just going and getting into a rental or even into an Airbnb for the time being, just to kind of wait and see and pause and look and see what the market is going to do. Because let's think about it. if you could have sold in 2006, first half of 2006, and gone and rented for, a handful of years, and then bought back in the market, you'd be killing it, right? Most people didn't, and this may be an opportunity to kind of atone for that. Maybe. Again, we don't know. The market is cyclical. It always has been ever since the Great Depression in the 30s. And we expect that cycle to turn relatively soon. And that expectation is based on the numbers that I've been collecting for the last 189 days, coupled with the overall economic environment and the headwinds created by COVID and the economy. And oh, by the way, it is an election year too. So a lot of information I know. Everett's been, whispering some of this stuff in my ear, so it's not that I'm the smartest guy here. It's him. So if you have any questions, reach out to Mr. Everett. He's happy to help you with your real estate related questions and real estate related goals. I'll pick up the phone too. We'd love to help you. Even if it's just questions, you're not moving, you just want to know what the heck is going on, and you want a deep dive understanding of the market dynamics right now. That is what we're here for. We are here to be a resource. So trust all is well with you. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.